Welcome everyone to my YouTube channel that I am working hard. Now that Saturn is retrograding, we're going back, dotting our I's. You feel me? Actually doing things, taking on this responsibility. We'll talk about, I'll do videos like that in another one. But thank you for following. This is the episode of Following the Moon series, the second house. Let's begin. I'm always using AstroSeek, everyone. So follow me. By the way, this is my Death Row T-shirt. This is the nighttime, so don't let the background fool you. Anyways, so we're gonna go to AstroSeek. I already have my account here. Here I am. Shout out to us, Shady Shirls on Instagram. Then I'm gonna put my time of birth. I'm gonna use Placidus for now. Obviously, look, it looks like this. This is your chart. Get used to looking for your chart. I got my birthday. I'm always looking at custom graphics, right? I'm going to show you how to use Placidus later on in another video. But for now, I just want you to get used to seeing this is your Placidus chart. And I want you to get used to switching it to your whole signs because it's neater and easier for your eyes to understand the concepts of the houses. So now we have even houses, as you can see, right? Then we're gonna go to our handy dandy up here in the transit chart. We have a little bit of a drop down list or whatever. So current horoscope, let's put that in because we're following the moon. So let's see. So I'm here now. Now I have a transit chart online, right? So I have my birthday. I have transit chart. Transit chart will show us the current planets to date. So, yes, when you were born, the sun and the moon and every other planet was at a certain sign, at a certain degree. But now, while you're older, right, the sun, the moon, and every other planets keep progressing into different signs, and that momentum we track. Okay, so here I am again, transit chart, June 6, 2022. I got midnight because it's the time that I'm recording this. But I'm going to show you how to change the time here. So I want you to take a look. Yes, we're going to eventually talk about these other planets eventually. But right now we're just focused strictly on the moon. So remember the inner circle like this, the blue planets are your permanent natal chart that never moves. The orange one is the ones that are in motion. You can see it both views. You see how the only thing that changed was they put it outwardly. They did a piece of crust, I like to say. So I'm actually going to use the inner ones. You see how everything's kind of inward now, both charts. So anyways, follow me along. So the moon is in Leo. And I'm going to show you my handy dandy. When you go up top, right, we have AstroSeek, we got current planet, and we have a moon calendar. So we're going to click the moon calendar actually, right? I'm going to go to the moon calendar so that way you can familiarize yourself with the signs. So we have the moon is in Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun naturally, right? The sun is our ego, or Leo is our ego, our self-expression, our self-confidence. Leo is fun, energetic energy, is a fire starter, right? So let's see what it says. Current moon is in Leo, right? So it's at 28 degrees. That's to midnight. But let's see what it meant. It says you feel safe in moments when you can impress others. So showcasing yourself, being in the front line, being able to be seen by others, right? That's Leo. Leo is the sun, the focus, right? The sun is in the solar system. Things revolve around it. So it says when you can impress others and get praise and admiration. I don't know what's going on, but being admired by others, right? So people are praising you for your talents, gifts, intelligence, voice, whatever. Yet when you get into the spotlight, you find yourself at a loss. So Leos can easily grab the attention. Maybe it's hard for them to maintain it. Their creative energy is a blind spot to them, right? Cancer 12th house. Anyways, maybe you should admit your fear of criticism and the inability to accept criticism. Have you met a Leo? It's very important to accept feedback and use it to improvement. So let's see. So I just wanted you to know about the Leos. Go back to our handy dandy. Another thing that we have to learn. So the moon was here for an entire 2 days in my second house. So what's the second house? So the second house is my money, the food that I intake, what I find valuable with my time. This, even though it's a Leo sign in there, it acts like a Taurus energy. So I want you to start putting that in there. So what's Taurus energy? So for instance, what I find valuable with my time, what I believe is important for to me. So to you, it might be important some other concept of life, but to me, the Leo way is important because Leo rules my second house. Because Taurus is all about grounding and believing their own system that they created in their head. That's why they're stubborn, right? So the second house is food, your money. The second house is your self confidence, the what you feel about your self worth of you, your self esteem, right? This is like a voice. This is the house of the voice. So I don't have any particular planets in there. So my second house is empty. As you can see, nothing's in there. But it does oppose Saturn in the eighth house, which means it does have its influence. So I'm going to tell you about my day actually. Let's put on around 3 p.m. I went to a fashion show actually. It was really nice. It was a performance. People were dancing. People were they were performing their music. It was around 3 p.m. Brooklyn time. So I put Brooklyn just so you could see me putting something else. June 6th, 3:23. Yeah, we were already there. So let's see what comes up. So, I think I put it in the wrong time. Let's go back. What's today? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So at exactly 3 p.m., right? So around 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., I was at a fashion show where I was watching people perform, dance. They were drinking, not a lot of drinking, but it was mainly a performance based on artists, creators, and their fashion. Exactly at 13, exactly at 3:50, around that time, I was in the middle of the party, all the way to like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So notice how we have the moon opposing my Saturn. So again, I don't have any planets in my second house. Sorry, you probably like, don't worry about it. Anyways, I don't have any planets in my second house. Usually, when you do have a planet in the second house, the moon is a luminary, so it will go over this planet or this symbol. Which soon, when we get to Virgo, you'll see what that means, and it will kind of bring forward some of that attributes of that planet, that energy, into your life, into your external environment. So, for instance, again, the moon was opposing Saturn at that time in the 11th house. So I was outside with friends. The 11th house rules friends is a goal. I was thinking about different ideas that I could do with this. I wasn't necessarily performing. I was in the audience. 11th house rules audience. Then there was, like I said, what else is an interesting 24 degree? Oh, on my drive home, right? So we have the moon 24 degrees opposing Saturn, right? These actually were people that I met through a family member in my mother's side. She's my cousin. We met her. That's where I met her through. But I actually saw with my own eyes a bunch of Jewish community people. Now, that's not something that happens to me on the daily. You know, I don't go to Brooklyn every day. Okay, so that actually happened to me that day, which I find interesting that the moon is opposing Saturn around the hour that I saw a bunch of Jewish people walking in Brooklyn. 24 degrees is a Jupiter degree, and if you notice, Jupiter is at 4 degrees Cancer. So I was watching creators. Their art was very red, fashion. They looked very 90s look, very intense, end of the world, fifth element kind of vibe, which is funny because Saturn is in the eighth house of darkness for me. So I actually enjoyed it. Yeah. And then I went out to eat. The second house rules food. The second house kind of rules your family. Went out to eat with my family. Okay, and then I also, the second house is a affirmation house, is a house of kind of vulnerability, because here is a house where your, what you find important to you can be compromised by outside sources. Like, for instance, I wanted to come home and shoot this video for you guys, but then I was compromised to choosing um staying over with my cousins and like playing games, whatever. But I chose to go to work because Saturn just stationed retrograde. So you probably can't see it just yet, but Saturn will has already stationed retrograde today. He's slowly breaking himself in there. Okay, so the second house also rules the face. I make sure my face was clean, and this, like, actually I went and I took in my supplements for the day without like naturally just picking my supplements. Like, I didn't even write it down. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my chlorophyll. So the second house is an intake kind of energy. The second house rules, like I said, a little bit of your family comes about with this. The second house does rule overall. This is like where you would do the oil change to yourself, self-care. Okay, now I'm gonna leave it off to this short, sweet, simple, because I didn't really have anything else going on with my Leo moon besides doing my hair. Leo rules the hair, children, career, right? Having fun, choosing sex. That's the Leo energy. Wherever Leo falls in your house, it just happens to be my second house. So I'm bringing it forward to you so you can see how it manifested externally. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyways, we will be making more videos explaining all little things. Please leave the comments. It helps. It makes me figure out what to talk about next. Thanks.